Xie Runan was suddenly dragged from the bed. Before he could even see who it was, he was struck hard in the face. Tripping over his half-removed trousers, he took several more heavy blows. Xie Runan's mood shifted from shock to fury in mere seconds, especially when he finally saw who the attacker was. He counterattacked like a madman. The room was large, but Jiang Ye and Xie Runan were both tall, and as they traded blows, sofas and clothes racks were sent crashing. Xie Runan started poorly and was quickly overwhelmed. Jiang Ye grabbed the kettle from the coffee table and, without hesitation, smashed it onto Xie Runan's head. Everyone was at the peak of adrenaline. Xie Runan showed little reaction to the blow. Jiang Ye grabbed his collar and slammed his head toward the glass coffee table. With a loud crash, the table shattered everywhere. Xie Runan was knocked unconscious by the impact. Though he was clearly incapacitated, Jiang Ye was not appeased and tried to force him onto the broken glass. Jiang Shan rushed forward. Jiang Ye. Jiang Ye, his eyes red with rage, shouted, "Get away!" Jiang Shan held him tightly. "Jiang Ye, stop! I don't want you to pay a heavy price for this." Jiang Ye held the semi-conscious Xie Runan, his chest heaving, before finally throwing him aside like a piece of debris. Xie Runan's face was covered in blood, and Jiang Ye also had injuries on his face and the back of his hands. Jiang Shan had considered making Xie Runan pay for his actions, but if Jiang Ye were also involved, no, it wouldn't be worth it. She quickly called the police, first to report Xie Runan's misconduct, and then called 120 ambulance. While waiting, she remained incredibly calm, treating Jiang Ye's wounds while asking, "Why are you here?" Jiang Ye stared at the marks on Jiang Shan's fair neck and said in a low voice, "I've been staying here all along." Jiang Shan's heart skipped a beat. She continued to treat the cut near his eye with a cotton swab, and after a few seconds said, "My coming here was your arrangement." Jiang Ye pressed his lips together, "Yes." Jiang Shan's expression was neutral. Jiang Ye couldn't guess what she was thinking. After a moment, he spoke first. "Did I upset you again?" Jiang Shan, who hadn't been looking at him, met his gaze and said, "I'm not the same as before. Forget about being able to stand up for you. Now I don't even have the capacity to purely like someone. Are you sure you like the me now, and not the me from the past?" Jiang Ye countered with a question. "Will you blame me for disappearing without a word back then?" Jiang Shan remained silent. Jiang Ye. Only strong enough love can overlook everything. Looking steadily at Jiang Shan, Jiang Ye said, "Give me a chance." Jiang Shan was direct. "Can you accept that my reason for being with you is not entirely pure?" Jiang Ye didn't hesitate. "Yes." Jiang Shan wasn't sure if Jiang Ye was hurting inside, but the moment he said yes, her own heart gave a sudden wrench. The police and the ambulance arrived at the hotel sequentially. Under the gaze of onlookers, Xie Runan was carried away by the ambulance, and Jiang Shan and Jiang Ye got into the police car. At the police station, Jiang Shan truthfully described the entire incident. Her relationship with Xie Runan was clear, ex-boyfriend. When asked about her relationship with Jiang Ye, Jiang Shan paused slightly. "My boyfriend." Jiang Ye, who was giving his statement elsewhere, answered the same question without hesitation. "My girlfriend." Xie Runan's injuries were serious, so he couldn't be questioned yet. The police allowed Jiang Shan and Jiang Ye to leave, asking them to keep their phones on, stay in Yangqing as much as possible, and be ready to return to the station at any time to assist with the investigation. Stepping outside, Jiang Shan felt lost. With such a scene, it was difficult to stay at the hotel, and in this unfamiliar city, she didn't know where to go. She felt the hand hanging by her side being grasped. Jiang Shan turned her head and met Jiang Ye's gaze. His face was marked with cuts, but it did not diminish his presence. His expression was as cool as ever, but his eyes and voice were gentle. "Let's go home." Jiang Shan only found out later that Jiang Ye had a residence in Yangcheng, but for the past month he had been staying at Ningtai. To avoid running into her, he didn't dare to stay on the same floor as her. He had been secretly following her all this time. Jiang Shan, to her detriment, thought her luck had finally turned for the better, but in reality the bosses who came to host banquets and show support, as well as the hotel owner's kindness, all had underlying reasons. Jiang Shan couldn't blame Jiang Ye. She just came to a clearer understanding. To have no money or power yet still wish to rather break than bend was simply a pipe dream. On the day she went home with Jiang Ye, he ordered a lot of food. Takeaways arrived in 5 or 6 waves. Fruits, desserts, Western food, Chinese food, everything imaginable. Jiang Shan had no appetite. Jiang Ye noticed and immediately asked, "What do you want to eat?" "I'll order it for you." Jiang Shan looked at him. "Would it be convenient for you to find someone to look after my parents in Yunqing?" Jiang Ye replied instantly, "Okay." Before Jiang Shan could give instructions, he volunteered, "I'll have someone stationed near their residential area, ensuring not to disturb uncle and auntie's daily lives." Jiang Shan, "Thank you." Jiang Ye, "Anything else you need?" Jiang Shan, "Could you have my luggage from the hotel brought over?" Jiang Ye, "Okay." Jiang Shan lowered her head and ate. forcing herself to swallow even though she had no appetite. Right after dinner, someone came to deliver her suitcase. Jiang Ye took it and carried it directly to the master bedroom. Jiang Shan assumed the master bedroom meant they would be sharing it. But as soon as she walked in, Jiang Ye said, "Get some rest. Let me know if you need anything." He started to walk out. Jiang Shan asked, "Where are you going?" Jiang Ye, "I'm not going out." Jiang Shan looked up at him. "Aren't you sleeping here?" Jiang Ye's pupils instinctively darted away. It wasn't that he didn't want to, but he didn't want Jiang Shan to mistakenly believe he had brought her home solely with the intention of taking her to bed. Jiang Ye clearly paused, then said, "I'll sleep in another room." Jiang Shan's expression remained calm. "You came in even before Xie Runan arrived." Jiang Ye was stunned for a few seconds before he reacted, frowning as he tried to explain, "I'm not." Jiang Shan was not far from him. She took 2 steps forward, stood on her tiptoes, and kissed his parted lips. Jiang Ye lowered his gaze, looking down at Jiang Shan, unmoving. Jiang Shan's eyes swept over his brows, his nose bridge, his lips, sliding down until they finally rested on his Adam's apple. Clinging to Jiang Ye's shoulders, Jiang Shan tilted her head back to kiss his Adam's apple. Jiang Ye's entire body stiffened. When Jiang Ye scooped her up in his arms, she showed no panic, instinctively wrapping her arms around his neck and kissing his lips forcefully. Jiang Ye kissed her back as he walked, and together they tumbled onto the large bed in the master bedroom, as eager as ghosts starved for 3 months. Before, Jiang Ye had been more eager than Jiang Shan. This time, Jiang Shan was more eager than him. Jiang Shan was still Jiang Shan, but Jiang Ye was clearly more intense than he had been over a month ago. Back then, they had done it dozens of times in concentrated sessions, and Jiang Ye knew all of Jiang Shan's habits and preferences. This time, he hit the mark immediately. Jiang Shan was left gasping for breath from his thrusts, and by the time she was screaming, her voice was hoarse. From dawn until dusk, Jiang Shan only got out of bed once. In the dead of night, Jiang Shan's stomach growled. Jiang Ye held her from behind and whispered, "What do you want to eat?" Jiang Shan's eyes were closed, even her hair felt heavy with languor, and she softly replied, "Anything." Jiang Ye, "Noodles, is that okay?" Jiang Shan, "You're not satisfied yet?" Jiang Ye, He was right by her pillow, his voice clear with a question. Jiang Shan couldn't help but reflect. "You mean, boil noodles?" Jiang Ye, "Yes, what did you think I meant?" Jiang Shan gulped, unwilling to admit it. A few seconds later, Jiang Ye pressed his lower abdomen against her. "You thought I meant this down below?" Jiang Shan pushed him away with her backhand. "Go cook, I'm hungry." Having gone at it 3 times consecutively, they truly had no strength left. Jiang Ye got out of bed and dressed, and Jiang Shan asked him for the address of the place. Jiang Ye replied. 25 minutes later, takeout arrived, along with a yellow packet of medication. Jiang Ye blurted out, "I'm sorry, I'll definitely use protection next time." Jiang Shan picked up a water cup, took a pill, and said calmly, "Today I didn't want to use protection. I wanted to see if it was any different from before." Jiang Ye was silent for a moment. "Was it any different?" Jiang Shan said nonchalantly, "More pleasurable." Jiang Ye was again somewhat at a loss, so he told Jiang Shan to wait while he went to the kitchen to dish out the noodles. A simple bowl of celery and shredded pork noodles. Jiang Shan had been irresistibly tempted by the aroma, while Jiang Ye was stir-frying the ingredients. Now, she ate in complete silence. Seeing this, Jiang Ye ate his noodles with peace of mind. After Jiang Shan had satisfied her hunger, she suddenly looked up and said, "No wonder I like you, you can satisfy me in every way." Jiang Ye nearly choked, covering his mouth and turning his head, his ears flushing red. Jiang Shan looked at the 2 bracelets on his wrist, and a dream she hadn't dared to entertain for many years suddenly flooded her mind. She wanted to be with Jiang Ye together for a lifetime. Jiang Shan knew Xie Runan would not let the matter rest, but she hadn't expected him to be so despicable as to ask the barely 19-year-old girl to give false testimony. What Jiang Shan told the police was, "Xie Runan dragged me into the room and tried to assault me." His girlfriend witnessed it firsthand. What the girl told the police was, "The 3 of us entered the room together at the time. Midway, I went to the master bedroom to use the restroom. I heard that woman actively calling my boyfriend to look at the guest room. Later, I had a family matter, so I said goodbye to my boyfriend and left." Police, "What were Xie Runan and Jiang Shan doing when you left?" Girl, "Nothing. My boyfriend wanted to walk me out, but Jiang Shan said there was another, better room to see on a different floor, so I told my boyfriend not to bother." This statement was in sync with what Xie Runan told the police. He claimed, "Jiang Shan is pretty, but I've seen plenty of pretty women. Besides, she's my ex-girlfriend. We lived together for 4 years, during which I discovered she was cheating and I broke up with her. That day, she actively tried to seduce me and insisted on sleeping with me. I never thought she'd conspire with other unsavory men in a scheme to extort me. My current girlfriend is young and beautiful. Why would I force myself on her? Now, the testimonies were 2 against 2. Since the main 2 pairs were couples, it was difficult to believe either side. Jiang Shan had varying degrees of marks on her neck, wrists, and knees. Xie Runan simply stated. She was throwing herself at me like a maniac, and we were struggling the whole time. If you talk about marks, my hands were scratched by her. She just said that if I didn't agree to sleep with her, she would walk out and accuse me of assault. Police. What about the kiss marks? Xie Runan became evasive. I don't know. You'll have to ask my lawyer. He was clearly taking advantage of the fact that no bodily fluids could be found on Jiang Shan's internal examination to bully her. Such gossip should have spread quickly, especially since it happened in a hotel. However, the hotel owner knew Jiang Ye and strictly ordered everyone to keep silent. The Xie family certainly wouldn't allow such a scandal to get out either, though those with sensitive ears in the inner circle had already heard everything. When Zhou Yao heard that Jiang Shan had accused Xie Runan of assault, she was first incredulous, then sneered, and finally became furious. She knew Xie Runan was capable of such reckless behavior, especially since the incident involved a key name, Jiang Ye. That name hadn't appeared in years. The last time was when Xie Runan called her, asking about her relationship with Jiang Ye. After her anger subsided, Zhou Yao thought hard. Even if he wanted to ask about Jiang Ye, why would Xie Runan approach her? It wasn't until that day when she went to visit her aunt and saw Jiang Ye at her aunt's house. Jiang Ye ignored the stunned Zhou Yao and proceeded upstairs on his own. After a long moment, Zhou Yao asked, wide-eyed, Aunt, why is he at our house? Zhou Linhui's expression was unchanged, and her tone calm. This is his grandfather's house. Zhou Yao swayed for a second, then froze in place, her face changing color. Zhou Linhui was infertile and had no children during her 20-odd years of marriage to Jiang Ye. Due to this sense of debt, while the Zhou family patriarch was still alive, he financially assisted Jiang Ye's rise in the political sphere. But Jiang Ye was unlucky. He died of a sudden heart attack while on a business trip 2 years ago, thus completely severing the Zheng family line. Zhou Yao was Zhou Linhui's niece, her only niece, and Jiang Ye treated her like his own daughter while he was alive. Zhou Yao was a darling in both the Zhou and Zheng families, and even her marriage with Xie Runan was arranged by the Zheng family patriarch connecting the 2 families. Since Jiang Ye was not Zhou Linhui's son, he must be Jiang Ye's illegitimate child from an outside relationship. Zhou Yao scrutinized Zhou Linhui's face. Although Zhou Linhui said nothing, Zhou Yao went up and hugged her, whispering in her ear, Auntie, don't be sad. Not everyone who wears the robes can be the crown prince. An unworthy person, even if they appear briefly, won't be an eyesore to you forever. Jiang Ye replied flatly, if they want to settle it privately, so be it. I want Xie Runan dead. Will they agree to that? Zheng Limin's brush strokes were steady, and his voice was even. He can't die. Leaving aside the difficulty of proving the assault, even if you could, he'd only be sentenced to a few years at most. Ask for something else. Jiang Ye. I had people investigate the family of that female college student. The Xie family got desperate and gave her family 3 million in cash, promising an apartment in Yangcheng after Xie Runan is cleared. I can get her to change her testimony at any time. Zheng Limin. I told you, even if you can convict Xie Runan with the Xie family's influence, he will be out quickly. Jiang Ye. As long as he goes in, there are plenty of ways to ensure he never comes out. Zheng Limin stopped writing and looked up. He met Jiang Ye's gaze, the former was calm, the latter indifferent. After a while, Zheng Limin spoke. What do you think you are? What do you think the Zheng family is? Jiang Ye stared back. Before coming to the Zheng family, I was just Jiang Ye. You said you could give me everything I wanted, and the Zheng family would be my biggest backer. Zheng Limin. You'd think like this all for a woman. How can I trust you with the Zheng family? Jiang Ye. You wanted Zhou Yao to marry Xie Runan, but Xie Runan was the one who threw away the opportunity. An disobedient ally is more dangerous than 10 enemies with clear objectives. Even if you spare him now, the Xie family will only offer verbal thanks. Compared to your grandson, Xie Runan is, at best, a tactless grandson-in-law. Their tones were casual, yet the content was full of deadly intent. Zheng Limin looked at Jiang Ye. You wanted to target Xie Runan from the start. All of this was part of your plan. He recalled first meeting Jiang Ye and his mother were not well off. Zheng Limin had assumed that after revealing his identity, Jiang Ye would see this as a huge stroke of unexpected fortune and that any sensible person would want to be recognized by their ancestors. But Jiang Ye instantly refused, and Zheng Limin had to use some maneuvering to get Jiang Ye to agree to return to the Zheng family. Now, it seemed it was more than just Zhang Wuji not wanting to learn the Nine Yang manual. Jiang Ye remained composed. I am not Zhou Linhui's biological child. You bring me back, the Zhou family may say nothing publicly, but they won't ignore it secretly. If you want to probe the Zhou family's attitude, just go after Xie Runan relentlessly and see how the Zhou family reacts. When Jiang Ye was alive, the Jiang, Zhou, and Xie families were close. Since Jiang Ye and Zhou Linhui had no children, everyone naturally pinned their hopes on Zhou Yao and Xie Runan. If they were to marry, it would be as good as having strong ties with all three families. The only variable was Jiang Ye's sudden death 2 years ago, and Jiang Limin suddenly gaining a biological grandson. Jiang Ye has his own mother and naturally could not acknowledge Zhou Linhui, making the relationship between the Zhou and Jiang families very delicate. Over the past 2 years, publicly due to Jiang Ye's death, no family pushed the marriage between Zhou Yao and Xie Runan. However, the Zhou family was secretly anxious, which is why when Jiang Limin casually suggested a matchup, the two families immediately arranged a meeting. The fact that it ended in hostility was unexpected by everyone. Jiang Limin had never discussed the relationship between the three families with Jiang Ye, and he and Zhou Linhui maintained a relationship of a kind father and dutiful daughter-in-law. He did not know how Jiang Ye found out. The study was quiet. After a long silence, Jiang Limin lowered his head to write again and said casually, I am old. I can't manage the affairs of you young people. When Jiang Ye went downstairs, Zhou Yao blocked him on the landing between the two floors. Jiang Ye ignored her and kept walking down. Zhou Yao frowned, instantly furious. Don't you pride yourself on being so virtuous? So virtuous, yet you're an illegitimate child. Being an illegitimate child isn't enough, you're moving in. Where is your integrity? Jiang Ye paid no attention and didn't stop. Zhou Yao's eyes widened in disbelief, and she shouted at Jiang Ye's retreating back. Don't think about using the Jiang family to help Jiang Shan. She actively threw herself at Xie Runan and slept with him for 4 years. Now she turns around, sees you, and starts playing the victim and seeking sympathy. She's using you as a weapon to kill. She stopped suddenly before finishing her sentence, because Jiang Ye turned to look at her, his expression blank, his eyes fierce. Step by step, Jiang Ye walked back up the stairs and stood before Zhou Yao. He was 1.85 meters tall, and a chill emanated from him. Zhou Yao forced herself not to retreat, raising her eyes to intimidate him. What are you staring at? Jiang Ye glared at Zhou Yao, said nothing, and suddenly grabbed her collar, pushing her forcefully downwards. Zhou Yao shrieked, her face pale as she clutched Jiang Ye's sleeve. It wasn't that she reacted quickly, it was that Jiang Ye hadn't let go. He held her by the collar. Zhou Yao's back was to the stairs, one foot already off the step, her body suspended and leaning backward. Jiang Ye watched her calmly. Zhou Yao wanted to curse him for being crazy, but looking into his eyes, those words simply wouldn't dare to escape her lips. The two were at a standoff until Zhou Linhui came from elsewhere and looked up at the stairs. Anyone who saw this scene would scold Jiang Ye. Zhou Linhui frowned. Yao Yao, what have you done? Zhou Yao tilted her head slightly, tears bursting forth instantly. Auntie? Jiang Ye grabbed her and flung her aside. Zhou Yao's legs gave way and she crouched down by the wall, sobbing loudly. Jiang Ye descended the stairs alone, brushing past Zhou Linhui without a greeting. Zhou Linhui went upstairs and bent down to help Zhou Yao, who was crying heartbrokenly. Auntie, why didn't you do something about Jiang Ye? Before she could finish, Zhou Linhui reprimanded her with a cold face. Stop crying. You'll disturb your grandfather's rest. Zhou Linhui never used to be harsh with Zhou Yao. Zhou Yao was startled and instinctively shut her mouth. The two returned to the room. Zhou Yao had calmed down. I'm sorry, Auntie. Zhou Linhui's expression was unreadable. You asked me what attitude the old master has towards Jiang Ye, this is his attitude. Zhou Yao's heart grew cold. The villa was large, but Zhang Limin wasn't hard of hearing. She had just been crying heartbrokenly at the stairwell. Zhang Limin couldn't have failed to hear it. Yet he hadn't even come out to take a look. This was Zhang Limin's attitude towards Jiang Ye and also his attitude towards her. Her tears dried. Zhou Yao swallowed with difficulty, and after a long moment said, Xie Runan offended Jiang Ye back in high school. Jiang Ye definitely won't let him off. Zhou Linhui. Haven't you offended Jiang Ye? Zhou Yao choked. Zhou Linhui. The old master used to dote on you because he could only dote on you. Now he has his own grandson to dote on and you are nothing. Zhou Yao's mouth felt dry. She had received endless affection over the years, and while her temper was bad, she wasn't brainless. Zhou Linhui gave a slight hint, and Zhou Yao quickly said, Is Grandpa trying to distance himself from our Zhou family? Zhou Linhui neither confirmed nor denied. Zhou Yao's heart sank by half. Before, she had thought everything belonging to both the Zhou and Jiang families was hers. Now, suddenly, half of it was gone, or, to be precise, the Jiang family's portion was still the larger part. Frowning, Zhou Yao lowered her voice, but her anger was palpable. Why can he, a bastard son, return so openly? Even if uncle died, grandpa is a respected man. If Jiang Ye's identity gets out, where will the Jiang family's reputation stand? Zhou Linhui. So you only found out about Jiang Ye's identity today? I was only informed 3 months ago. Zhou Yao blurted out. What if Jiang Ye's identity gets exposed? Zhou Linhui looked at her indifferently. Do you dare to offend the Zheng family? Zhou Yao was speechless. No, she didn't dare. The common people don't fight with officials, and wealthy merchants don't contend with high-ranking officials. No matter how powerful the Zhou family or the Xie family were, they were still just merchants. When Zhang Limin was in power, if he stomped his foot, let alone one Yunqing, the entire 13 cities would have to stand at attention and listen to his orders. After a long silence, Zhou Yao tentatively asked, Auntie, will Grandpa help Xie Runan? Zhou Linhui retorted, if the old master doesn't help, do you dare to? Zhou Yao's face instantly went white, just like when Jiang Ye had grabbed her collar, threatening to push her down the stairs. It was only at this moment that Zhou Yao truly understood what fear tasted like, stemming from the bullying and crushing power of a superior over an inferior. It wasn't about right or wrong, only about who was superior and who was inferior. Previously, she and Xie Runan were the absolute superiors. Jiang Ye was the one they casually trampled on. This included Jiang Shan over the past few years. If not for hiding behind Xie Runan, Zhou Yao would have crushed her in an instant. Now, everyone's positions were reversed, the cards reshuffled, fulfilling the saying. The gears of fate never stop turning, the only difference is who gets crushed. The female college student whose previous testimony favored Xie Runan suddenly changed her statement. Her entire family of 3 went to the police station to confess, bringing with them the 3 million in cash. With this, the tangled mess finally started to unravel. In late August, the first court hearing concluded. Xie Runan was sentenced in the first instance to 4 years and 10 months in prison for attempted assault and suborning a witness. Xie Runan did not accept the verdict and filed an appeal. During this time, the entire affair was kept under wraps. Only those very deep in the circle in Yunqing knew how serious the disruption was. With the downfall of the Jiang family, Jiang Shan trying to take on Xie Runan was like an ant trying to shake a tree. There was no question that someone was backing Jiang Shan, but no one knew who. Not even the Xie family could stop it. People guessed privately but had no clue. After all, Jiang Shan had vanished from Yunqing. Someone had said earlier that she was at a hotel in Yangcheng, but after the incident she seemed to have disappeared into thin air. No one knew her whereabouts. Jiang Shan was in Yunqing, at Jiang Ye's home. During the day the housekeeper cooked, and in the evening Jiang Ye came home and cooked. Occasionally, when bored, she would spend 4 hours following a video to make a meal, taste a bite, and then spend 4 seconds throwing it away. Jiang Ye worked at his office from 7 in the morning to 6 in the evening and rarely socialized, coming home every day to eat dinner with her. At first, Jiang Shan was a little unaccustomed to it, but gradually she became more like a wife waiting for her husband to return home. If she couldn't cook, she would wash the vegetables, she watched him stir-fry, and he helped her wash the dishes. The two would curl up on the sofa to watch movies, discussing different perspectives of the same events from when they were in school. Whenever Jiang Ye mentioned how he liked her but deliberately kept silent, Jiang Shan would roll her eyes to the heavens in exasperation and curse. You are so repressed. Jiang Ye. I liked the way you chased me. Jiang Shan. You liked the way I chased you but couldn't catch you, making me scratch my head in frustration. Jiang Ye didn't deny it, and Jiang Shan feigned anger. He turned his head to kiss her. Jiang Shan dodged. Jiang Ye continued to kiss her, and she continued to evade. Whatever was playing on the screen was no longer important. 2 bodies on the sofa were completely bare. Jiang Ye was sinking into the soft sofa, which made it hard to exert force, but he couldn't control himself because of the tantalizing Jiang Shan. Jiang Shan clutched the back of the sofa with one hand and gripped Jiang Ye's arm around her waist with the other. He made her spine weak, so weak she felt she couldn't even think. Jiang Ye's first time was with her. Back then he knew nothing, only possessing brute strength. Several times, Jiang Shan was so close to losing her temper, but then she opened her eyes and saw his face. Forget it. This was Jiang Ye. She admitted that Jiang Ye would always have a youthful halo in her heart. More importantly, he hadn't become unattractive as he grew up. Rather, that cool demeanor had intensified, especially in bed, where he was a man of action with few words. After several tense minutes on the sofa, Jiang Ye carried Jiang Shan upstairs. They were both naked. In the past, Jiang Ye would have been embarrassed, but he couldn't hold up against Jiang Shan's brazenness. She would say, others like the way you look in clothes because that's all they can see. Unlike me, I like the way you look without clothes. They had just gotten into bed after showering when Jiang Ye's phone rang. He glanced at the caller ID and went out to answer it. Jiang Shan felt a pang of concern but didn't dwell on it too much. After all, Jiang Ye's identity was different now. She couldn't enjoy the convenience his status brought while disliking the disadvantages that came with it. Just as she was thinking this, the phone on the bedside table rang. It was Jiang Shan's. The screen displayed Dad. Jiang Shan answered instantly. Dad? The voice of Jiang Chengyue came through the phone. Shan, where are you? Jiang Shan lied. I'm at the hotel. What's wrong? Jiang Chengyue was serious. What did Xie Runan do to you? Jiang Shan's head swam. Nothing. I haven't been in touch with him for a long time. Why are you mentioning him? Jiang Chengyue. Someone saw news online that you're suing him. Your mother and I have booked tickets to Yangcheng. We're coming to find you now. The unexpected news meant Jiang Shan could only tell the truth, informing Jiang Chengyue that she was in Yunqing and would come home immediately. As soon as she hung up, the first thing she did wasn't to get dressed, but to look at Weibo. Sure enough, Yunqing richest son assault was trending first. Jiang Shan's blood ran cold. After clicking in, she was overwhelmed by not only Xie Runan's name but also her own, prominently displayed. The first news item clearly stated that Xie Runan, the son of Yunqing's wealthiest man, had been sentenced to 5 years in the first trial for the attempted assault of Jiang Shan, the daughter of the former owner of Chengyue Hotel. The news was posted 23 minutes ago, and comments had already reached 7,000. Jiang Shan clicked to open them. The top comment read, I have a friend in Yunqing's second-generation rich circle. XRN and JS were dating. Before she could click on the top comment, her peripheral vision caught the second hottest comment. The above news is outdated. Xie has a fiancé and Jiang was kept by him. With many likes, Jiang Shan clicked on it and saw the top inner comment. I went to the same high school as Xie and Jiang. Jiang liked someone else in high school. Xie pursued her, but she refused and publicly humiliated Xie for the boy she liked. Later, when the Jiang family had trouble, Jiang actively clung to Xie. Everyone in the circle knows this. Sister, looks like we went to the same high school. Jiang really thought highly of herself in school, publicly shaming Xie in front of the whole grade. The key is that she chased JY, and JY wouldn't even look at her straight. The main thing is that Jiang used people and then discarded them. Before, she would tell everyone she hated Xie, but later, Xie kept her for several years. I heard Chengyue Hotel was acquired by the Xie family. Other branches of Chengyue have changed their names, only the one in Yunqing is still called Chengyue. My friend said JS was working there as a public relations manager before. Based on that, Xie was really decent to Jiang. What does she mean by accusing him of assault now? It's likely that Xie is getting married, and Jiang doesn't agree. If she can't have him, she'll destroy him. A single comment had spawned countless threads of conversation. A mixture of truth and falsehood pieced together, the netizens always had their own logic that made the entire story self-consistent. Before deciding to sue Xie Runan, this was Jiang Shan's greatest fear, public opinion. After these years, she was no longer the Jiang Shan who couldn't handle any criticism, but her parents still cared about their reputation. Jiang Shan's face was pale. As she was hurriedly getting out of bed, Jiang Ye came in from outside. Jiang Shan opened the closet to grab clothes. Jiang Ye asked, what's wrong? Jiang Shan didn't look at him. I'm going back to my parents' house. Jiang Ye immediately guessed what had happened. I'll go back with you. Jiang Shan, no need. Jiang Ye ignored her, quickly put on his clothes and trousers and went downstairs with her. Jiang Shan rushed. I'll drive myself back. Jiang Ye held her hand. Don't be afraid. Outsiders won't believe your explanation. Family doesn't need an explanation. Jiang Shan's eyes welled up, and she nearly cried. Sitting in the car, Jiang Ye took the initiative to say, someone deliberately put the matter online. It looks like they want to start a public opinion battle. You're worried about uncle and auntie. We should discuss bringing them here to live with you, or sending them out of town to avoid deliberate harassment from people with an agenda. Jiang Shan unconsciously clenched her fists, her lips tightly sealed, feeling an emotion that was a mix of fear and grievance. Jiang Ye freed one of her hands and interlaced their fingers, looking straight ahead. As he drove, he said, lift your head. You just dated a bad person. It doesn't mean you are a bad person. The reason you didn't marry Xie Runan wasn't that he didn't want to marry you, it's that I want to marry you. Will you marry me? The words Jiang Shan had dreamed of hearing her whole life finally came, but she didn't dare to agree. The first thought in her mind was, unworthy. After Jiang Ye finished speaking, the car remained silent for a long time. Jiang Shan finally replied, don't worry, I'm fine. Jiang Ye repeated, will you marry me? Jiang Shan's tightly strung heart tensed further. You don't have to comfort me, I really am fine. I was just thinking about how to tell my parents. I'm not comforting you, Jiang Ye said, pausing for 2 seconds. I'm taking advantage of the situation. Jiang Shan's heart stirred and she fell silent. Just nod your head, Jiang Ye added. Consider it comforting me. A sourness bloomed under Jiang Shan's tongue. Though her body felt weak, she still squeezed Jiang Ye's hand tightly. The two returned to the Jiang's home together. At the door, Jiang Shan tried to pull her hand away, but Jiang Ye didn't release it. Instead, he pressed the doorbell with his other hand. Jiang Shan was still struggling when the door suddenly opened. Li Bingjie stood waiting by the door. Their 6 eyes met. Li Bingjie first saw Jiang Ye, Then the two hands clasped together, a look of either surprise or expectation on her face. Jiang Ye nodded first. Auntie. This meeting wasn't as mortifying for Jiang Shan as she had imagined, because Jiang Ye hadn't involved her at all. She had stayed in her room the entire time. No one usually lived in this room. It was filled with Jiang Shan's old belongings. After moving out of the villa, Jiang Shengyue and Li Bingjie had left with nothing but the clothes on their backs, yet they hadn't left behind even one of Jiang Shan's toys. Jiang Shan pulled open a drawer. It was full of greeting cards, autograph books, and notebooks. She took out a notebook with a combination lock, typed in 521025, and it clicked open. The top right corner of the first page bore a date, not the day she wrote in her diary but the day she first met Jiang Ye. Pink handwriting, clumsy words, the overwhelming crush of a young girl in love, with even the punctuation marks brimming with affection. Flipping through the pages, a small piece of a card suddenly fell out. She picked it up to see it was a photo of Jiang Ye in his school uniform, a Polaroid. Almost 10 years had passed, and it was a bit faded, but it was still clear how stunning the person in the photo was. Jiang Shan remembered that day during morning exercises, she had sneaked around, taking a wide detour, secretly snapping a photo of Jiang Ye from behind the crowd. Jiang Ye had suddenly turned, looked at her with cold eyes, and then walked towards her. Jiang Shan was so afraid Jiang Ye would make a scene in public, so when he reached out for the photo, she obediently handed it over. This one was the sole survivor, hidden in her back pocket. Thinking about it now, she really was annoying back then. If the genders were swapped, she'd be cursed to oblivion, with comments numbering in the tens of thousands. 521025 I love Jiang Ye. 52 I love. J is the 10th letter in English, Y is the 25th. Jiang Shan had changed all her passwords to these 6 digits. That was until she got together with Xie Runan. She changed all her passwords then and never opened this notebook again. She had once completely forgotten Jiang Ye. Now he had reappeared, standing before her, saying he liked her, saying he wanted to marry her. Jiang Shan didn't believe it. She couldn't even marry someone she didn't love, so how could she so easily marry the one she did love? How could there be such a good thing in the world? Xinghao clang, clang, clang Xinghao, someone knocked on the door. Jiang Shan quickly put away the notebook. Coming. It was Li Bingjie, gesturing for Jiang Shan to come out. The 4 of them sat down. Jiang Shengyue spoke first. You are the victim in this matter, it's not like we did anything shameful. Don't hide away. It's not you who should be ashamed to face anyone. Jiang Shan gritted her teeth, holding back until her vision blurred for a moment. Jiang Xingyue's eyes also reddened. We'll sue the Xie family. We'll sell our house, sell our land, lose everything, even risk our lives. They must give you an explanation. Li Bingjie squeezed Jiang Shan's hand tightly. They had always thought that with Jiang Shan and Xie Runan together, she would at least have some support. Who knew that the biggest grievance of Jiang Shan's life was caused by Xie Runan? At this moment, whether as parents or as children, what they hated most was themselves. They hated their helplessness, their powerlessness, their inability to control their own fate. Jiang Ye reached out and enclosed Jiang Shan's tightly clenched fist. I'm here. It was almost midnight when he left the Jiang family's house. Jiang Shan didn't leave, Jiang Ye went downstairs alone. He timed it, then called Jiang Shan. I'm home. Get some good sleep, and if you have the energy, spend more time with your aunt and uncle. Don't worry about anything else. After they talked for a bit, he hung up. Jiang Ye pushed open the car door, but it wasn't his home in front of him, it was the Zheng family's residence. The guards didn't stop him. Jiang Ye went to the study on the 2nd floor, didn't knock, and pushed the door open directly. Usually, Zheng Limin would be asleep by this time, but today he was still wearing his glasses and reading, not caring in the least about Jiang Ye's abrupt entrance. Jiang Ye walked to the desk and said coldly, You're the one who had Jiang Shan's name put online. That evening, Jiang Ye received a call informing him that information about Xie Runan's rape case had been leaked. He immediately called the secretary Zheng Limin had assigned him, asking the secretary to remove all online information. The secretary politely yet definitively replied with 3 words. Cannot be undone. After Jiang Ye returned to the Zheng family, anything he asked the secretary to do, the secretary not only never refused but carried out every task. This wasn't the secretary's capability, but the Zheng family's power. Who could make the secretary refuse without a second thought? Zheng Limin. And who had anticipated in advance that he would seek the secretary's help? Still Zheng Limin. Zheng Limin's eyes remained on his book, his voice calm and indifferent. It was me. Jiang Ye's expression instantly darkened. Remove it. Zheng Limin didn't look at him, his voice betraying no anger. Are you giving me orders? Jiang Ye. I agreed to return to the Zheng family because you promised me I could have everything I wanted. If you can't deliver. And if I can't, what do you intend to do? Zheng Limin looked up at him. Want to leave? Go where? Besides me, who would dare help you take down the online news? Who can help you deal with Xie Runan? And who can help you get your revenge? Zhang Limin's rapid-fire questions left Jiang Ye's face deathly pale and him speechless. Especially that last question about revenge. Jiang Ye's mother had been in a sudden car accident half a year ago, barely surviving. Doctors had declared her a permanent vegetative state, and the police called it an accident, but Jiang Ye didn't believe it. He had asked his secretary to investigate. There was no conclusive evidence, but all the clues pointed to Zhou Yao's father. Jiang Ye yearned to charge at him with a knife and kill him, but Zhang Limin had told him, "In this world, even with evidence, you might not be able to convict someone, let alone when you have no evidence. An eye for an eye is the most unproductive idea. If you want justice, you have to be stronger than him. Whoever is stronger, justice will be on their side." Before Jiang Ye could even process the thoughts of revenge, Zhang Limin looked at him and casually tossed out the final straw that broke the camel's back. "Leave the Zhang family, and you won't even have a chance to appear before Jiang Shan." Jiang Ye's already pale face became utterly drained of color, turning ghastly white. No matter how much he resisted, he had to admit that only by returning to the Zhang family could he oppose the Xie family, retaliate against the Zhou family, and openly protect Jiang Shan. Zhang Limin looked at Jiang Ye. "Don't secretly accuse me of being autocratic. I'm giving you a choice. I can remove the online news. I can make it disappear without a trace, and no one will ever mention it again. Or you can leave the Zhang family, and we'll consider our grandfather-grandson relationship severed, with no further connection between you and the Zhang family." Before Zhang Limin could say more, Jiang Ye, with a pale face, said, "I choose the second option." Hearing this, a look of satisfaction appeared in Zhang Limin's eyes. "Don't blame me for not considering your feelings. You're too impatient. Just wait and see, I will give you everything you want."